Questions? Question orale. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
En ajoutant.
By adding more to our national debt than all other prime ministers in the history of Canada put together, this prime minister has added $500 billion in inflationary deficit, which is increasing the cost of products and services we purchase. Now, the finance minister admitted that she wants to increase the taxes on EI by $2.5 billion. That will take even more money away from workers' wages. Mr. Speaker, will the government scrap those tax hikes so that workers can keep more money in their pockets? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, it appears that the Conservatives now get it, that we need to help Canadians to help fight the effect of inflation. Better late than never. So I appreciate the latest Conservative flip-flop. It's about time they also supported our one-time payment of $500 to help vulnerable Canadians who are having a hard time paying their rent. It's never too late to do what needs to be done, even for Conservatives. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Raise taxes on the working poor, and yet that is exactly what the minister admits she will do. She admits that raising the EI premiums, the EI payroll taxes, will take $2.5 billion extra dollars out of the hands of Canadian workers, and not to fund EI. She also admits through her own public filings that the government will take $10 billion more in EI taxes than it will pay out in benefits, money that the Prime Minister will raid from the account and spend however he likes. Will the Prime Minister get his hands off the EI fund and the paychecks of our workers?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the EI contribution rate today is 1.58. Next year, it'll go up to $1.63. Both of those rates are lower than the EI contribution rate was in every single year when Stephen Harper was Prime Minister. Yet the new Conservative leader, who was actually the employment minister during those years, now wants to slash our contributions. So who do the Conservatives think was the better economic manager, Prime Minister Harper or their new leader?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Well, we were terrific economic managers together, and we will be again. Sorry, I'm just getting a little practice in on answering questions, Mr. Speaker. We'll be doing more of it when we're in government soon. But in fact, EI payments have gone up for the average $60,000 a year worker from $930 when I was the minister to $948 now. That's a small increase, but the big $2.5 billion tax increase is just ahead. This minister admits the money won't even go to EI. It'll go to government spending. Why won't they get their hands off the EI fund and the paychecks of our workers?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, in 2015, a Canadian earning $49,500 a year paid $931 in EI premiums. Next year, that same Canadian will pay $807. That's nearly $125 less than she paid when the Conservative leader was the minister in charge.
Wow.
So, yet again, Mr. Speaker, Canadians really need to understand whose policies do Conservatives support, Stephen Harper's or their new leaders?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
And both. And the total payroll tax of a $60,000 a year earner went from $3,400 under the previous Conservative government to $4,168 today. And the reality is, none of that was necessary, and they want to use the money for anything but EI. Mr. Speaker, on top of that, now they plan to triple the carbon tax, raising gas, heat, and grocery costs, and killing jobs for many people in many sectors. Their policy is paychecks down and costs up. And in fairness, they're succeeding at both. Will they stop that policy and cancel their tax hikes?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I've already explained that Canadians earning around $50,000 a year next year will pay $125 less in EI premiums. But now I want Conservatives to come clean on what they want to do to our pensions. Their proposal is an irresponsible scheme to eviscerate our pensions. As Rob Carrick pointed out, quote, Canada Pension Plan premiums are not a tax. The CPP is the bedrock of a Canadian retirement plan. The Conservatives want to undermine all of our pensions, but we won't let them.
The Leader of the Opposition.
That is absolutely false. Conservatives protected the CPP, increased benefits for seniors every single year we were in office, and did it without any tax increases at all. We can do that again. Everybody agrees we should keep contributing. Nobody agrees that we have to hike taxes on workers to do it. But back to the carbon tax. They want to triple this tax on groceries, gas, and heat at a time when Canadians can barely afford to pay their bills. They want to add 40 cents a litre to gas taxes right now with 40-year high inflation. Will the government cancel this tax on Canadian energy?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, let's get serious. Canadians know this Conservative leader does not have a serious climate plan, and that means he doesn't have a serious economic plan. The economic reality is our most important trading partners, the U.S., the EU, our customers, our markets, are all taking aggressive climate action. Canada cannot afford to fall behind. Our economy cannot afford it.